This is the best looking new boat at Düsseldorf Boat Show, and it might not be what you expect. It's this, the Beneteau Gran Turismo 50, and especially in this Alpine spec, it looks drop dead gorgeous. This is a vital cog in the Beneteau machine, and they've gone big with the spec. It's a 32-knot cruiser, Bill Dixon hull, transformer deck back there, and if you tick all the right boxes, it's the best part of £1 million. Is this the new king of 50-foot sports cruisers? Let's find out. I'm Jack Haines, you're watching YachtBuyer. You'll have seen from those drone shots that this aft deck is a pretty spectacular piece of design. It's giving me scaled down azimuth SeaDeck 6 vibes, lots of similar functionality here. Obviously we've got the platforms, those are standard. The hydraulic bathing platform is a cost option, otherwise it's fixed and you want to carry a tender. You're going to want this because it sinks down into the water and that's how you're going to launch the tender. It's got a 400 kilogram capacity, so you can have a Williams or a Sea-Doo Spark or something back here. Other things on the platform, we've got the ladder. So that just flips over the side to help you in and out of the sea. There's also, handily, a shower here. You can have a little wash off, and check out these cleats. Big old chunky cleats on this thing too. These are the chocks built into the deck for when you want to carry the tender. And this isn't a tender garage as such, because of course the tender's here. But what you have got is this little boot area. So that pops up, and it's big enough really for water toys. That's what it's designed for. There's enough width there to have a paddleboard in there inflated, and you can also add a scan strut inflator, so it makes blowing up and deflating all your toys really easy, and it's very quick to put it all away again. There you go. I like this little section as well. Obviously it has that button, but it's also got your shore power connections, and it's all hidden away underneath this hatch. Last thing, there's a ladder built into this platform as well, so as this drops into the water, it creates a nice stairway down to the sea, into the cockpit. You'll see from the proportional difference between the inside and the outside, this is a boat that's designed for living outdoors. I mean, look at this cockpit space. It is pretty spectacular, isn't it? Functional as well. Huge sunpad. This flips this way to create a headrest if you are lying down using the sunpad. And the table, well, that's a focal point made out of lovely teak. This is, you know, as I said in the intro, £1 million boat, so the touch points do need to feel good, and this is absolutely lovely. And it's clever because the hinge allows it to flip both ways. So that makes it much easier for me to walk through from side to side. And it flipping the other way is important because, I mean, yeah, just look at it like this in dining mode. That's a really good size, isn't it? But flip it this way, that's where the engine hatch is. So you need to do that so you can get down into the engine room. There's a couple of pull handles here, lifts up this bench to reveal some really good storage underneath. And you can't fully enclose this area, but you can get a pram hood that extends out to over the balconies as well. So you can get a really nice amount of shade in this area when it's a really sunny day. Moving forward, this is a really key part of the design, the way that the galley is part of the threshold. It's just somewhere you're naturally gonna, draw up, have a chat, have a drink. And yes, you've got the galley facilities in there, but as an option, you can either have a grill here. Obviously this boat hasn't got it. You can install a fridge underneath as well. But yeah, nice that you can actually cook outside if you want to. And you can see, this just feels like somewhere where you'd want to have some bar stools maybe. Take the weight off. And funny enough, I spoke to Beneteau about that, and they said actually not going to put bar stools because they don't want to, impede the space here. But they are going to reinforce this so that you can lean more comfortably and use it as a leaning post for when you're socialising, but also when the boat's moving along. Let's go into the galley. You see you've got the normal door here, and the window that opens up towards the ceiling. And this is great. Feels really sociable. You're in here, but you're looking down over people having fun out there. You can still communicate with them really easy. It's well ventilated too, because obviously you can cook in here with your induction hob. Sink is hidden underneath this hatch. There's a dishwasher down here. You haven't got a full height fridge freezer. You've got a couple of these Vitafrigo drawers that are really nice. But I would say any opportunity to add fridge space, like for example, down here, I would do it, because you want to be on board for longer periods. I think you're going to need a bit more fridge space. The galley kind of extends over here as well. Fiddles for your cutlery in there. And there's spots too for things like crockery as well. So the thought of it all, it's quite a novel layout, this galley. Let me know what you think of this design in the comments below. Let's have a look at the helm. If you go for the Alpine trim upgrade, you're not short of Alpine touch points. They're all over the place. Now, there are two versions. There's the upgrade to get all these nice bits that you can see here, and then the paint job, which really is the best bit in my opinion, is another cost on top of that. And I talk more about pricing in my written review, so go to yachtbuyer.com to read that after you've watched this video. But I do like all the Alpine stuff that we have here at the helm. The Alcantara steering wheel, the carbon back chair is absolutely lovely. This is so comfortable, supportive, adjustable as well. It will slide closer to the wheel and the throttles. It bolsters, so I can sit a little bit higher. That is quite firm on the bum though. And they've lowered the height of the roofline by 37 centimeters compared to the old Gran Turismo 50. That is partly why it looks so sleek, but it also means I can stand up and clear my head of the sunroof. So I'm coming into maneuver, because this is the only helm station. I think it's nice that I can stand, reach the joystick, and I can look around really comfortably. And they've thought about the driving position and reaching the controls when you're sitting down too. Everything comes down towards me on the right hand side here. It's Volvo Penta IPS650, so 480 horsepower per side. Top speed is 32 knots. And at 25 knots, I imagine you'll get about 250, 300 nautical miles out of it. But yeah, really comfortable design, and they've really thought about allowing you to sit and control everything. 3 Garmin MFDs present all your information really nicely. They're a little bit of a way away, but because you've got the control here, I can sit back here and control them remotely and see everything really clearly. It's nice and dark. The carbon fibre is an upgrade. This is part of the Alpine pack, but I think it's lovely. And the underlighting you see at the helm, throughout the interior and on the outside of the boat, that's really, really cool. At night, this thing's going to look fantastic. And you can team it up with the Lumishore lighting and the Fusion stereo to make it all pulse in time to the music. So it will transform into a proper party boat. And I talked about the balance of indoor and outdoor seating space. Well, this is the compromise really with this design. This is your indoor seating area. And as you can see, it's pretty small. There's no table. It does sit under the sunroof, so you can lie in here and still be in touch with the elements, because this is a fiberglass roof that slides back. But really, this is a spot to give you somewhere to sit next to the skipper. You can sit on the move, put your feet up, be in touch with the person driving the boat. You can still see all the screens, but you're facing forward when you're moving along, which is quite nice. Now, before we go and look at the cabins, let's head to the bow. There's some nice design detail up here. It's really easy to swing yourself up the steps onto the side deck with this handle here. The guardrails come to hand really easy too. And again, if you've got the Alpine pack, you've got the logo here and on the roof. And I love the curvature of this window. It's really striking from the outside. Obviously, you have that on both sides of the boat. The powder-coated black railings are part of the Alpine pack. If you don't have those, you have regular old stainless steel, but I do think the colour scheme is absolutely great. How easy it will be to look after. There's already some fingerprints on it, and we're inside a boat show, but it does look fantastic when it's clean. Now, coming out to the foredeck, this seems pretty formulaic really. A couple of sunpads with the pop-out backrest. What I really like is how they've incorporated this area, so you can drop down into a well. This is quite American bowrider, isn't it? But how about that? You're sunken down. It's really comfortable here. It's a really nice place to sit, you know, when the boat's at rest. Even if you're trickling along slowly, you catch the breeze. It's really nice. You've got speakers up here, more underlighting, chargers, cup holders. You've got it all, and you're still nicely in touch with the people who are stretching out in the sun over here. Now, the anchor mechanism, that's quite special. Move this out of the way. It works in 2 parts, so I can pull this back, and then it's an automatic system where the whole thing folds out, so it's tucked away when it's not in use. But you can leave it out if you're moving around the Mediterranean, for example, and you're going to be going to different anchorages. You can leave it out but still access it through this hatch here, which is quite a clever solution, because often with those fold out ones, they're either out or they're in, and it becomes a real faff to have to constantly be moving them in and out of the boat. Quite a good solution, that. Let's go downstairs and have a look at the cabins. Now, it's quite a novel layout down here on the lower deck. You've got 3 cabins in total, 2 bathrooms, and the owner's cabin is actually forward, not on midships as we're used to seeing now. I'll show you what's on midships, starting with this single cabin that is really probably best suited to kids because headroom isn't great. The berth is big enough for an adult, but it's not going to be particularly comfortable. There's some storage here in the form of this hanging wardrobe. There's a drawer down there as well, but no, you can't stand next to the bed. If you're going to get changed, you're going to be doing it in the doorway. But things improve significantly when we head over to the starboard side into what is dubbed the VIP, but I could see this being used as the master simply because of the size of the bed, and it's flexible because these are just infills. So you can have a pair of twins if you want, but when it's in double, guys, it's huge, isn't it? And you've got some nice details like the reading lights up there at the top of the bed. Storage is quite clever too. You've got this sliding section here to put your odds and ends. Little fiddle on this ledge as well, so you can put your devices up there and they won't slide around. And here, next to the wardrobe, conveniently, you can stand to get changed. That's a reasonable size, isn't it? Nice that they light up as well as you open them. And there's space for a bureau here, with an area to have a TV mounted on the bulkhead. It's a nice space. Let's head forward though and take a look at the owner's cabin. Before we get there though, let's have a look at this guest bathroom. This is the day head and also the bathroom that the cabins and midships will share, but thankfully it's a really good size. Headroom goes up pretty nicely, separate shower cubicle, and it's brightened up by the faux marble, the lighting behind the mirror, the nice sink. You've got Tecmo electric loos as well. It does feel elevated compared to the usual Beneteau fare. It's a nice space. And of course the owner's cabin has got a private bathroom, which we'll see in a second. So the owner's cabin is forward. One slightly strange thing is that this door doesn't hold itself open. So if you leave it open when you're on anchor, it's going to be swinging around. The rest of the doors ping shut on magnets, but this one you're going to have to close it, otherwise it's going to be doing a bit of this, which is slightly annoying. Anyway, into the space, things improve. This is nice. Think about the seating we've got on the foredeck above us. You've still got really good headroom here. Yes, it drops down a little bit as you get towards the top of the bed, but this is the nice seating one on the foredeck, which I don't think you'd want to sacrifice. Storage is excellent. Not only the stuff behind me here, the kind of stuff you'd expect. By the way, I like these new catches they're using. They're very smart. But look at this. Sports cruiser style, but plenty of practicality. How easy is that? It's all well and good to have good clothes storage, but where do you put your bags if you're going to be on for a few days? Well, there you go. Bags, shoes, other bulky kit can all go under there. You don't have to lift off any cushions. Really easy to get to. There's a bureau down there, and there's also behind the main door, the door into the ensuite. And one other little feature, for things you notice when they're trying to up the feeling of quality here. Normally, the TV would probably just be plonked on the wall on, say, the trawler range. Here, it's nicely recessed into this panel. You don't have to have it. If you do, though, it's really nicely integrated into the bulkhead. It's the little things, isn't it? Right, let's head to the engine room. It's not an enormous deck hatch, but actually access is pretty good. There's a ladder right down between the engines, and I have to say, the finish in here, this is hull number 1, is very neat and tidy. Headroom isn't great, of course, it's not going to be on a boat of this size, but access to all the bits in the engines is easy, and it's the same with the pods, which are obviously further back in the engine room. Really neat that you've got the generator and the Seakeeper just forward. Again, all very easy to get to. Fuel tanks on both sides. And this uses Benetau's Seanapps system, which is like a monitoring system, both for the owner and Beneteau. And they get some really useful information from that. They were telling me earlier, they can see how people use their boats. How far will they take a boat like this? How long will they be on anchor? And they can use that to inform future designs. It's really interesting stuff. But yeah, engineering wise, it's pretty good down here, just not great headroom. Maybe in this sector more than any other, the way a boat looks is really important. It has to pull at your heartstrings, and this is certainly one of the best looking boats that we'll see this year, I believe. And there is some really solid practical thinking going on as well. It's not just all style, it's the typical Beneteau thing. They haven't forgotten the practical stuff, but it is really focused on outdoor living. What I would say, if you want a 50-footer that you want to use all year round, there are better options just because of the limitations of the size of the interior on this one. But it's deck space you want, an amazing, luxurious weekender that's going to help you do water sports and enjoy the water. Well, you can't really do better than this. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching that tour of the new Beneteau Gran Turismo 50. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And if you want more Beneteau content, well, we've done the Swift Trawler 54. It's a really different proposition. I'll put that for you up there. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.